Good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing?
Good.
You guys ready to have some fun?
Yep.
I just was deciding what I was going to speak about on my way up here. I'm setting the timer, and the reason I do that is to remember to do it whenever my wife's here. When my wife's not here, I can just talk as long as I want. But when I speak at events, as I often do with my wife, she's my timekeeper, and I'm trying to keep the discipline going because they told me I only had 3 hours for my speech, and I'll go 4 or 5. I'm going to keep this within 3 for you. Let me start. Okay, first of all, it was a very kind introduction. I appreciate what he had to say. You guys can be the judge of what you think of my message. When we're all done, we're going to do some Q&A at the end. I do have a few books that are at the Center for Cultural Leadership table, and you're more than welcome to check those out if you're interested in hearing more. My dear friend Andrew Sandlin and his ministry are carrying the books. And he mentioned my latest book, Full-Time Work and the Meaning of Life, and a lot of my talk today is an overlap a little bit with the message of that book, which is available at Andrew's table. But speaking of Andrew, there's something I want to say before I get into the content of my talk. And this is probably more important to me personally than anything I'm going to say today. And it has to do with the men that are going to be on the stage. That was the Holy Spirit. The caliber of people, present company excluded, it is not merely that I am so deeply appreciative of the teaching of James White and Jeff Durbin, and Andrew Sandlin, Joe Booth, and Doug Wilson, and a lot of these folks that you're going to hear. There's others in breakouts and in stage today. I am very appreciative personally throughout my life in the content of their ministry. In each one of those cases, I have learned immense amounts from them, and I hope you all have too. But what I want to say to you guys about the privilege of you all having them here today to speak to you is we're in a time that I think is particularly important, not just for the right ideas to get out into the culture, and for the right ideas and teaching to get out into the church. But that will always be paramount. It will always be important for us to share the right ideas. And ideas have consequences and all that kind of stuff. I believe all of that. But I also believe that the messengers have become increasingly important. And the right ideas with the wrong messengers never end well. These are the right messengers. These men have courage, they have personal integrity, they're willing to make personal sacrifices, they're fearless, and I'm telling you, I hope you all come away from this conference with the same regard for them personally that I have. And I'm deeply appreciative to Apologia for the invitation. Jeff Durbin is someone that I think the world of and able to be here, Pastor Jeff. All right, now let's talk about the bad news. The world's a mess. This is not good. We have to talk about how we're going to fix it. And so I want to start off with a little history. I'm going to suggest to you that our problems began at the Garden of Eden with the fruit and the woman and the temptation, and everyone knows that. After the doctrine of the fall, in terms of the specifically modern context that I want to talk to you about today, and this notion of rebuilding culture in the marketplace, which is the subject of my talk, I want to ask you all to go back about 100 years. I actually think, because it's 2025, that it would be a little bit